Hey guys, it's a sit in the backyard and contemplate kind of a afternoon. I hear some thunder in the distance, so hopefully it's not coming up rolling up here. But this is the day. This is the 10 days of fasting, 0-calorie fasting, and I'm breaking the fast today. Actually, I've already had a little bit. I've ingested a little bit, but I want to come on here and do a quick summary of the things that I've been through in the last 10 days, just the you know sensations and the struggles and the things that I encountered. Um, Physically, I noticed that after the third day, I felt weak. I felt just sapped of energy, and my energy sort of came in waves after the third and fourth day. So there'd be periods where I felt really weak and tired and like I just needed to sit and rest. And then there'd be periods where I had more energy. There was not a constant flow of energy for me. And that was the case throughout this fast. I had some occasional lightheadedness, just feeling like, not dizzy necessarily, but just feeling a little lightheaded and kind of unsteady on my feet once or twice when I got up too fast. And that's blood pressure. I woke up with a headache most mornings. It's just a slight headache, nothing massive, not a migraine. And I really think that was probably due to dehydration because I would quit drinking water at about 6 o'clock. And then as soon as I got up and drank water, I felt fine. So that's really why I think it was dehydration. But I just didn't want to be peeing all night long, you know what I'm saying? Hunger. I had some hunger pangs, as anyone who fasts will. And here's what I learned about hunger. I learned that hunger is the same on the first day as it is on the 8th day. The hunger pangs that we feel they do not get more intense, they don't intensify, they don't get worse. They are what some people call fake hunger. So they are the result of ghrelin, the hormone ghrelin being released in our system. That's what triggers hunger pangs. And it was good to learn that. It was just good to sort of remember that, and I did have hunger pangs for late in the fast. And they diminished. There was fewer and fewer of them, but I did have them late in the fast. And they were no more intense than they were on day one. So that's good to remember and good to know. So there's no reason when your stomach goes off, there's really no reason why you need to eat. The hunger pang is just a hormonal reaction. I had chills. I felt the cold more. I had muscle aches. I only exercised twice, and I even had muscle aches on the days that I didn't exercise, which may be sort of a detox reaction. It's something I've read. I had a film on my tongue. I had some body odor that was unusual. And one thing I'll say is I had a bowel movement every day. There was never a day that something didn't happen, and I think that's because I was replenishing electrolytes with salt, potassium salt, sodium, and I think that by doing that, I was basically making a saltwater flush twice a day. I was taking, electrolytes twice a day, and if you look it up, saltwater flush, it works as a laxative. It's one way that people, set themselves free. So I'm curious as to whether my digestive system has really shut down. In terms of breaking the fast, I'm curious as to whether it's really shut down. I really don't think it's going to be that difficult for me. I got a terrific email from a lady named Linda who sent me a very poignant story and timely story about how she broke her fast wrong one time after doing 8 days, and the consequences of it were pretty disastrous. And so I appreciate that, Linda, and I've researched it, so I'm going to try to be wise about how I break this fast. But yeah, I'm just wondering, since that's different than the fast I did when I was 16. When I was 16, my intestines just shut down. My digestive system stopped after about the 4th day, and I didn't have a bowel movement. So, and the only thing that's been different is this time I've been supplementing with electrolytes. So I really think that's probably it. It'll be interesting to see how it affects the whole ending the fast. Okay, weight loss. This is what everyone wants to hear about. They're just like, shut up and get to the weight. I did lose 22 pounds in this 10 days. 22 pounds. And I know I mentioned in a video, one of the early videos, maybe day 3, that I was losing a lot of weight, but I didn't tell you guys how much. And I knew that it was water weight, and that's the case. You know, I fully expect, here's what I fully expect, this is what I know from past experience, I fully expect to gain about 10 to 12 pounds of that back. I'll be happy if I keep off all but 10 pounds of that 22 pounds. And it's just a fact that your body carries water and it sheds water when you're fasting. It's just part of the process. So, but if I manage to keep all but 10 pounds off, I still lost 10 pounds, especially considering I'll be eating lighter this weekend, and I'm moving to keto. You know, there's hope there. It's not, you know, it can be done. And so mentally, I've said this before, but I was very sharp. I did not have any brain fog. I was focused throughout the whole fast. And, you know, even though I felt tanked physically once or twice, I had no problems reading, working, concentrating, nothing. Emotionally, now I noticed some heightened emotional awareness once or twice. There was one day on the fast when I was thinking about my dad, and I've had some questions about my dad. My dad died pretty young, and he lived kind of a tough life. And I've had some sort of unresolved questions for upwards of 12 years since he died, that where I really was thinking about him one day, and, you know, even got to the point of almost crying. And, you know, long story short, I'm not going to get into all the details of it personally, but God really answered my questions. He really just sort of put them to rest. And it was really a joyous time. I had another day where I just was kind of like overwhelmed by this sense of thankfulness for my life and for the people around me and for the possibilities of the future. Just like this big sense of hope that almost made me cry again. And this morning, this is worth noting because I went to the grocery store this morning to try to figure out what kind of foods I was gonna break this fast with. And I felt sadness as I was walking into the grocery store because it's the last day of the fast, and that's actually persisted all day. It is now almost 6 o'clock as I'm recording this, and I've been just like, just the blues because I've enjoyed this fast. And that should tell you something about fasting, you know, in my future. It's probably going to happen again. Probably a very good indicator that this is going to happen again, that I really enjoyed it. Spiritually, I've mentioned just some vaguely mentioned some spiritual breakthroughs. But I also want to say, I didn't just fast food on this 10 days. I also fasted social media. I fasted television. And let me just tell you, I did not miss them at all. I am glad. I mean, to me, it's just confirmed what a waste of time, how much time I waste on things that really don't matter. And I'm looking forward to some more fasting, even if am not on a typical, I might just make that a routine for my fast days. When I go back to ADF, just on my fast days, I don't look at social media, I don't look at TV, and just kind of keep that going, because it was really, it made me more productive. It gave me more time to read and pray and think about things, consider my life, and it really was like very restful. Everything was quiet. Everything I was doing, I just diminished the white noise and kind of set it aside in my life for a period, and I really, really loved it. I felt like a monk in a cell sometimes. You know, a monk in his monkery, monastery. But, you know, it was a really good feeling and really positive, and a lot of good came out of it. Okay, so hope that answered the questions about some of the physical, spiritual, mental characteristics of the fast. Now on to breaking the fast. As I said, I'm not sure that my intestines, my digestive system has fully shut down, but I know that there are bacterial changes. I know that your gut flora, you can research gut flora, it changes during a long fast. And so this is not an exact science in my mind. Because I pooped every day, this isn't an exact science. Now, I did go to the store this morning. As I said, I walked through the aisles of brightly colored packages that are full of all kinds of crap that's not even real food. And I'll tell you, I felt zero cravings. I felt no desire for any of it. None of it. It was like any other task to me. Walking through the store after 10 days of fasting, just like, okay, here I am. It was just something, I just had a grocery list and there was stuff I had to get done. But there was no temptation, no cravings, no desire to break the fast, and that made me sad too. But it's reality. I'm going away this weekend. I want to enjoy the time with my family, and so it has to be done. Let me show you what I purchased and what I have in mind. Is some of you have asked specifically for the information on how I'm breaking the fast. So here's the foods that I got to break the fast. Okay, so for those of you who've asked how I'm breaking the fast or what types of foods I'm eating here today, I'm starting with just some juice. Now, I hate juice. I never ever drink juice. This is just simple organic juice. It's no sugar, no corn syrup, nothing like that. I don't like juice because I don't like to drink sugar. That's just all there is to it. I'd rather eat the fruit. And but I'm trying to take it easy here, so I just plan on starting with juice, probably about noontime, thereabouts, and then I'm going to move on, maybe just try an apple, just real simple stuff that I know is easily digested. Definitely watermelon today, and maybe a couple of these prunes that I purchased earlier, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe a banana. I don't know. That might be for tomorrow. We'll just see. That's actually really the plan for today, and this is just representative. This isn't everything I have on hand, but just to give you an idea of how I'm breaking this fast. And then these are just some simple, tomorrow or maybe later tonight, depending on how I'm feeling. I'll probably bust into some, I may juice some greens, or I may make an actual solid salad with spinach and iceberg lettuce. Now, I know iceberg lettuce is not the most nutritious lettuce. It is tasty and it's full of water, and for that reason, because it's full of water, it's easily digested. So that's the thinking there. So I may have, a simple salad, and instead of using salad dressing, I'll just use one of my favorite products in the world. I just bought this at my local grocery store. It's an off-brand, but it's whole milk Greek yogurt. So this is full fat. I love this stuff. I eat it all the time. Alternate day fasting or extended fasting, whatever I'm doing, I'm thinking about this stuff. This is what I daydream about. I mix it with fruit. And for purposes of my salad this evening, if I do eat a salad, I'll probably use some of this. I'll put some of this on there along with, possibly some broccoli or cauliflower. We'll just see how it goes. This is organic sauerkraut, which adds a lot of flavor to a salad. A lot of people don't like sauerkraut. It's preferred that you make it at home. If you make it at home, it's so much more nutritious. It's the probiotic effects are much greater. But this is the best I can do on shorthand. And then just some bean sprouts. This adds some nutrition into the mix. Obviously, going back to eating, I need to be incorporating a lot more water and can continue to hydrate. So, be doing that. I love just old-fashioned, plain, cook them for 8 minutes type whole grain oats. This is possibly for tomorrow. I'll see how it goes. But if things are going well tomorrow, I expect there'll be more of this stuff here. And then some oatmeal and possibly a scoop just to incorporate an oil. I love this 100% peanut butter. It's the kind you have to stir it all up. It's natural, no sugar added. and I might just throw some oil in my system tomorrow to see how I'm doing. So that's what I'm doing here for the next 2 days, and hopefully by the time I get to the third day, my stomach will be mostly woke and able to handle some small amounts of some other foods. That's the plan, you guys. So you'll see that I focused mainly on, some people like to break a fast with bone broth or with vegetable soup or something like that. I'm going raw here, and the reason is for that gut flora I mentioned a while ago. I want to buy the foods that are, raw fruits and vegetables are going to help to get the juices flowing, get those good bugs up in my tubes. And so that's why I went mostly raw here. And I know everything, it's not all perfect. Even when they put organic on a label, I don't believe it half the time. I think it's just a marketing word. But it is at least real food. And I'm a simple man. I live out in the boonies. And it's good enough for me. I'm not a picky eater. But right now, next 2 days at least, I need to be a picky eater. It's going to be wait and see how things go and adjust as necessary. And on top of that, I expect to be I have a diminished appetite today. I did break the fast with about 8 ounces of apple juice, which had no sugar, no added sugar, no corn syrup, and was so freaking sweet, you guys. I felt like it was a Jolly Rancher in my mouth. It was just so sweet. But since then, I had that apple juice, and I had 6 small prunes, and I was stuffed. 6'4" dude, 240 pounds. I was just stuffed, and so it's kind of crazy. So I expect that it's going to take a while for my stomach to wake up and for me to get eating normally again. In terms of what I learned, I want to mention a few things that I learned, because fasting is an education, it's an adjustment. So every fast is a learning experience. Every time you step up the intensity or the challenge, it's a learning experience. The first thing I learned is that it took me a long time to get into ketosis, and that suggested to me that I have deeper metabolic damage, metabolic syndrome, than I thought I had. And it was different than when I fasted when I was 16. By then, day 3 or 4, I was into ketosis. In this fast, it was a good 6-7 days before I knew for certain that I was into ketosis and things were starting to get easier. And so it was slower. In addition, I had a lot of detox reactions that I don't remember when I was 16. And I think really that what this means, what the solution to both of these problems is that I need to fast. I need to incorporate longer fasts throughout the year and just make them a part of my healing process for now, of getting my body back to where it needs to be, lowering my insulin resistance, lowering my body's set point. And that seems to be clearly what I need to do going forward, is just plan on some longer periods of fasting like this one, and really even longer if I can. The fact that it took me so long to get into ketosis really sort of made me think of, well, how can I stay in ketosis? And you guys know the obvious answer. Most of you know that the obvious answer is a ketogenic diet. To eat a ketogenic diet, high fat, low carb. I'm going to try that for 6 weeks. I'm eating very light today, eating very light tomorrow, or trying to incorporate more food tomorrow. But by Saturday, I plan on, really bumping it up a bit and seeing what my stomach can handle. And that's when I'll be visiting family. So I'm going to eat all this weekend, all the way up through Monday. And then Tuesday, I'll be back to my alternate day fasting regimen. And then by Wednesday, I'll be on a ketogenic diet. I'll have some videos exploring that process for you guys. But just to try that for 6 or 8 weeks, or however long it is until my next long fast. Psychologically, it's hard when you're on a day 6 of a 10-day fast, or day 8 even, to smell good cooking, to smell good food, to see other people eating, and not be able, and just be saying no to it, you know. But what you learn is that you can say no to food. You can say no to food. It does not have to, you know, be the domineering force in your life. And that's true of other things, which I'll talk about in later videos. But it's just good to be reminded of that you can step out. You know, part of it is I just like stepping. I feel like I stepped out of the mainstream. I really do. I feel like I was trying to listen to the radio earlier, and all of it sounded so empty to me. I know it's strange to say this, but I was just like, it's so dissatisfied, so empty. And so, like, fasting does put you in a different mindset. It puts you in a different in a different plane. You know, I'm still my feet are still on earth, but my heart's far from it, I guess is how I would say it. But you know, so psychologically, it's just good to know, hey, I can smell pizza and I can say no to it. I can see people wolfing down some really good quality ice cream and I can say no to it. And one thing I want to say about the channel, something I learned about the channel because I updated every day for the first time. I really enjoyed that process. I enjoyed, it gave me something to focus on each day during the fast. And it gave me not just a voice to speak, but also like to listen, because so many of you gave me such great criticisms, good ideas. I want to give a shout out to the people who criticized coffee, because one of the things I've learned is that probably on the next fast I need to ditch coffee. I think it caused some intestinal distress that was probably unnecessary. So to those of you that I criticized and said I'll never stop with coffee, I owe you an apology. I take back all the bad things I ever said about you. Because, you know, it's just things you learn. And that's something I picked up here on the channel. You guys gave me advice, and you guys threw in your 2 cents. And besides criticism, constructive criticism, just all the great thumbs ups and the, you know, keep up the momentum, Steve, keep up the drive. All of that was really, actually, a very significant help to me. So I want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you so much. This is my last video until probably early next week. Next 5 days, I'm just taking some time off and readjust, time for family. But I want to say thank you to you guys. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all the comments, all the questions, all the encouraging words, and you know, I feel so kind right now. I even thanks to the trolls. I'll even say it. It's the end of a fast, you guys, but it feels like a new beginning. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we fast. See you next time.